tired. All right, Luka Nation, welcome back.
Tired.
Welcome back. Dude, Bill Belichik, imagine playing chess with this guy. Like, we go into yesterday's game. Could you have ever imagined a strategy where Mac Jones, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league, I know he's just a rookie, throws the ball 3 times, and for much of the game, he only...
Imagine going 2 for 3 and having your completion percentage drop.
I didn't even think of that. That's interesting. No, but for most of the game, he had one. He threw once.
One. Yeah, he threw like the last play of the first quarter was his first. They opened the game up with 10 straight. It was windy, rainy. It was, it was bad. I mean, it was a crazy night. And even when but what's funny about it is you could have that plan, right? You're a boxer now. You're the missing Paul brother. But Mike Tyson would say that all the time. Everybody has a plan until they get in there and get punched in the face, right? So it's the same kind of thing. Like, you could have a plan to run it, you still have to execute it. The Bills probably were trying to run it too, and Breida, who was my fantasy back last night, gets in there and fumbles it. Because when the weather's bad, sometimes you fumble a ball.
It always seems like they Belichick, minus last year because it was kind of a rebuilding season, it always seems like he has a plan, and then if that plan doesn't work, he has like a plan B. He has a counter to everything that they do. It always feels like he's just a step ahead.
I would hate to do anything with Bill Belichick because I'm all about the laughs. I do it for the lulz. And I know no matter what I did, Belichick would not laugh at me. He's just that kind of guy. He just wouldn't give me the satisfaction of laughing at whatever I did.
All right, fine. I got a few different topics. Did you see the
by the way, that was my pick, the Patriots.
Nice.
Picked the Patriots, not the Bills. Had a good week. But what's funny about it is, what a crazy, crazy, crazy day. What a crazy day. Belichick, I read some stats about it. We don't want to talk about the lines and the trends, but he's over 500 as an underdog, not just against the spread. He's over 500 winning the games where he's an underdog. It's like 43-38 or something like that is his record, where he is an underdog. He actually wins the game. Forget about covering the spread. Wins the game. It's nuts, man.
Coach of the year locked in?
Yeah, I mean, who else could you potentially even think about giving it to?
Green Bay coach?
Not really. I mean, Green Bay's a 10-12 winning team, all the time. So, they're a 10-12 win team all the time. Talk about, improving the team with a rookie quarterback instead of with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I mean, possibly, depending on how the season finishes, Flores. I mean, Dolphins defense got healthy, and I mean they're on the longest winning streak. I mean, if they just win out, I don't think they make the playoffs anyway because there's too many good teams in the AFC. But that team's on a heck of a roll.
Is the Patriots defense one of the best you've seen in the last 5-10 years, or just kind of scheduling wise, they look a little bit better than advertised?
I think there's just a lot of parity in the league. I think there's a lot of you also, with the exception of Tom Brady, who I think threw 21 passes in the first quarter, right? With the exception of him, the quarterback play is actually taking a humongous step backwards this year. Think about it for a second. Brady's playing at an elite level. Rodgers playing at an elite level. But your other top 5 QBs in the league, let's just go through it, right? Mahomes obviously not playing at an elite level. Herbert is, had a good game, not playing at an elite level. Burrow was injured last year. He's playing at, above average level. Russell Wilson, huge step backwards. Matt Ryan should retire. Ben Roethlisberger should retire. I mean, go through your QBs, right? Just
the real king is Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew.
That's who I would be buying.
I love Gardner Minshew, you know that. But the point, of course, is that defenses look good, right? When there's only a select few offenses and QBs that are playing at the elite level, it used to be, last year you'd have 5 or 7 quarterbacks, Drew Brees, who were just playing at this, elite level. And even the elites this year, I guess Josh Allen's playing at a, semi-okay level,
Started hot, tailed off. Same with Dak. Started hot, tailed off.
Yep, same thing. So, I mean, defenses look better when that's the case, right? But they are a very good defense. And Matt Judon he's awesome.
He's a problem. So I'm gonna talk NBA. So I just saw a post. Dame Lillard wants $103 million contract. Do you know over how many years he wants that?
2.
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah, $50 million a year. And yesterday's topic, we had a short episode. I had it written down, so I'm gonna take this Trailblazers team is in big trouble, big trouble. So
Yeah, they
here's what
lost
you got.
Carmelo.
Here's what you got with this team. This team was already kind of on their last legs, and at their peak, at their best, they lost 4-1 to the Lakers. Remember in the bubble,
Mm-hmm.
That's their best, their absolute best. They lost Melo. They have no bench. They fired Stotts. What's his name? The coach, the previous coach, Stocks.
Leopold Butters Stotch.
I can't remember his name. You guys don't know.
Butters Stotch.
Bring in Chauncey Billups as the coach. Dame is super unhappy. And then you fire 2 months into the season, you fire the GM who brought in Chauncey Billups on a 5-year contract. This team is one step removed from a controversy, blowing up this whole team. I don't know what happens, but I would fade this Trailblazer team until the end of the year. I saw something like Ben Simmons wants to go there with Dame Lillard. Good luck.
Smash that fade button. Smash that fade button.
That would be even worse. That's
Ben Simmons.
That's a fade team. It's just a fade team. They have no bench. They have limited talent. Dame is
They have
already
your boy
old.
CJ McCollum. He's your boy. That's your pal.
What do you mean? Because I gave him a Kobe card or what?
Yeah, you gave him a Kobe card.
He doesn't remember me.
CJ McCollum, we know you listen to this. We know the Portland locker room is listening to this. We now have bulletin board material. We said to fade you.
I think Jesse Craig from PWCC, they probably are in the same circles. Big wine drinkers out there in Oregon.
Oregon, the Willamette Valley.
Yeah, good wine out there. So
Russell
that's
River
one. I had a
Valley.
question for you, number 2. Is Luka just another version of James Harden, or can you win with Luka?
You said that. You made that comparison. I don't think Luka could win with his team the way it's currently made up.
Can you build around Luka?
Yes, 100%. He just needs a big man.
That's all he needs?
That's it. 100%. Needs a big man. He can still play that Harden role. He needs somebody who can stop other teams' big men, and he needs somebody who can get him a second shot.
Do you think?
I think you win with Luka playing. Just let him keep shooting. Let him shoot 60 shots a game. I don't care.
The issue with Luka is he's not a very good shooter. So he's not a great 3-point shooter, and he's not a great foul shooter. He's actually worse than Harden in those two categories. Yet he dominates the ball. I don't think he actually makes his teammates better in that he holds the ball.
Oh, lemon alert.
No. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I see these comparisons, and we have a sports card podcast, and I'm curious. Dude, there's a lot of people holding Luka bags. A lot of people.
I don't think anybody really has. Besides the fact that they play with the ball in their hands a lot, and I think most of that with Luka is just that they haven't paired him up with a legitimate point guard since he's been there. I don't think the Harden comparison
Point guard
is
or big
there.
man?
Well, you need both, right? I mean, the truth is he needs a big man for rebounds, and I don't care. You can win with him, even though he's an above average shooter. He's an above average player, and he fills the stat sheet a little better than Harden did. Harden wasn't a big rebound guy. Luka get you triple double every night if he wants to, but he shouldn't have to. And think of how much he'd be freed up, how much less toll a season would take on him if he could get 6 rebounds a game instead of 11, because you had a big man getting those rebounds. Pair him up with any point. I mean, look, it's a shame because Zion looks fatter than Nate, which is hard to do. But I would have loved to see him play with Devontae Graham. And I'm not going to say Devontae, but give me a player like that
Chris
who
Paul?
is unselfish. Chris Paul's great, but I'm not going to ask for a Hall of Fame all-time great. I'm talking about somebody who doesn't need to shoot, right? Somebody who will pass first. A LaMelo Ball, he's awesome also, but somebody who will allow Luka to shoot, but also create space for him. I think part of the problem with Luka is people look at him and say he needs the ball. I think he has the ball and fills the stat sheet because there's literally nobody else to do it.
I disagree
right?
so vehemently, dude. I think you underrate. I don't think Tim Hardaway Jr. is not a bad player, man.
Oh
Reggie
my God.
Bullock.
He was like a throw-in. The Knicks just gave him away. He's somebody who needs to shoot. He's like Malik Monk. Every time he touches it, he's going to shoot it.
Okay. Okay, so you
Dude,
want
that's your best guy. The number 2, I tell you, Luka. Now, I think we can all admit that the KP experience, he's very hot or cold, right? Porzingis could be fantastic one day, and then 5 straight days he'll be horrible. And it's great that he's 7'11", but he plays.
he
I'm
doesn't
not
move well.
impressed by
He
KP.
doesn't move well. He's a perimeter.
Exactly, and he's tough. He's tough for spacing, and even though he's quote 7'2", he does not play in the post.
No,
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
play
play big.
post defense. He can't play the other bigs. The 7'2", there's like 6 inches he doesn't need.
So
He
you
can
want
play
to see
6'8" and shoot threes.
so
Go
you
ahead.
want to see like a Rajon Rondo in his prime and like a Clint Capella.
I want to see somebody. Yeah, you don't need studs, but I want to see somebody that lets Luka play without the ball a little bit. Somebody who's an
He doesn't know
unselfish
how.
pass first. I think he does. I don't think he's ever had a chance to, even in Europe. Right? I mean, I think if you create some spacing on the offense, ran some plays, and allowed him to spot up and shoot instead of always having to create space for himself, I think you become a better shooter. I think it's almost unfair to say he's not the best 3-point shooter. It's because when he brings the ball across half court, he's usually got 2 people guarding him. He's definitely got somebody on him every time he's trying to shoot. He's trying to create the shot off himself. He never has an open shot. Everybody else who's shooting threes is getting a pass at least some of the time and shooting that 3. It's very infrequent that he's taking that open 3. It's always a contested 3 with him. It's not fair.
They better draft some really good 3-point shooters like Duncan Robinson and surround him because he's he does get his teammates open shots. He sometimes
because they're double covering him.
Oh yeah, and he could get into the lane, draw the defense in and then kick out. He does a good job of that, and his passes are some of the best. He puts it right at the breadbasket. Okay, next topic. Warriors.
I like that topic, by the way, because I can't wait to see. He's young. There's going to be a lot of years where you would figure that his team has to know they have to put somebody around him.
1,000%.
You know what I mean?
And guys, these topics are just they're I love the game. Like I love watching ball. I love League Pass. And I see these comparisons. It's great. I see these comparisons, and I want to bring them to you guys, discuss them, and then you guys make your own decisions. Because a lot of you are invested, 4 or 5 figures into Luka. I want to tell you guys the comparisons I'm seeing. Here's another one, and I don't think anyone's invested in Siakam, but some people are. I'm curious: is this the year that the Warriors trade for him? Because he would fit that team so well. He would fit. He would fit that
He's
team.
the kind of guy we didn't mention him. Remember we talked about packaging Wiseman and like Poole or somebody else and getting a big man who can actually play defense against somebody like DeAndre Ayton and create a shot for himself. That's not a name we mentioned, but it's a good name. That would be a good. That would really put that team over the top because any team.
Isn't it interesting how it's one piece? Sometimes in these teams, it's a rotation player. It's a good fit. Pascal doesn't need the ball as much as people like other guys do. Man, that team, Pascal, Draymond, Clay, Steph, and Wiggins, that's a tough matchup. That's a tough matchup on offense and on defense.
I think Siakam actually would be great for them because, for Toronto, he still has to play some of the dirty player role, like dive on the floor type, scrappy, get the rebounds, where if you have Draymond, he doesn't have to focus on that as much. You know what I mean? So
Toronto's got to rebuild because Van Vliet he's leading the league in minutes per game because they have no bench. Yeah. So getting a few young guys, pair them with Scotty Barnes, let Van Vliet be. Yeah, get some depth. Let this team rebuild because they are in a rebuilding stage. Let OG develop. Let OG get his 20, 30 shots a game because OG's good, man. OG's going to be a star in this league, in my opinion. I would really love to see that trade to go down, and I think it's actually one of the more practical trades that could happen.
So, Toronto, can you invest in OG because he plays in Toronto? Is that
an awesome fan base?
It is for Toronto, yes, but do the card collecting average American will they invest in someone from Toronto?
He's not from Toronto. He's from the UK, actually.
He plays in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like Lowry. We didn't invest in Lowry.
Something Kawhi. I'm trying to do a little bit better of, Cage, is sprinkle. Like I'm an all or nothing guy, but I think it's like you can you can buy 5 silvers of OG right now, or maybe 2 or 1 just to get in on it. So you have some stake in the game, but you don't have to max out. Because, dude, do you know how old he is?
24.
24 years old. He's young. He's got a lot of potential, and I don't know. I think he's worth a look. He's not my play today. He's not very cardboard relevant as of now. But I do like to see the guy develop. I think he's got the tools to be a very good player.
So talking about Toronto, did you hear the news? I think it's starting January 15th. Non-vaccinated NBA players will not be able to play in Toronto. I mean, visiting players will not be able to go play in Toronto because Canada announced that anybody coming into Canada has to be vaccinated. So the Kyrie thing is now going to be expanding a little bit. It's not just you can't play in New York. It's teams who have players, whether they're from Dallas or wherever, that have a player on their team that otherwise was not making news like Kyrie because they were playing in a state that didn't have the same rules, now can't travel to Canada. I saw that today on Twitter. Interesting, right?
All this is very, very sad in my opinion. There's no really other way because I'm not a big political guy, nor do I want to have this huge argument over what's the right way to go about it. But I think it's just sad that this has all become politicized.
Yeah. All right.
Because
I was curious if you had seen it.
Well, I didn't see it, but my curiosity is, why can't you just get tested, right? And if you're negative, you play, and if you're positive, you don't play. Like, if it's all about safety, can't you just show that you don't have COVID and all is good?
Well,
maybe I'm naive and stupid.
did LeBron?
And probably both.
Was LeBron vaccinated? I think he came out and said he was, but then he just got COVID. So
No,
it doesn't seem like it.
That was a false positive.
Oh, it was a false positive. Oh.
And he was upset about that. So it was a false positive. And usually when there's a positive, they retest you right away. They didn't retest him. They left him in Sacramento. They said you have to get home on your own. You can't have security come with you.
Oof. How did he get home? How did he get home all the way from Sacramento?
He probably chartered a flight.
LeBron.
But that is kind of interesting.
That's difficult.
I mean, dude,
LeBron. I'm sure he found the way home.
Right, but imagine LeBron walks into the Sacramento airport. He's like, I need to buy a flight.
That's right.
Spirit, you have any flights?
Spirit Air.
$70 for a baggage?
Serving chicken or chicken on this flight?
I thought this was a budget airline. Do you guys have exit row for free?
Man, gotta love it. Man. All right, well, listen, NBA. We saw some football last night. There's nothing to talk about in the world of baseball because, not allowed.
My play is
locked out.
So right now on Golden, there's an incredible card on auction, and I think a lot of people are probably going to just scroll right by it. But I think it's a card that it's going to surprise some people when they see the sticker shock on this card, and it's the Spider-Man Holo 1990.
Dude, I told you I was bidding on that. All right, go ahead and tell him.
You didn't tell me you didn't tell me you were bidding on it.
Yeah, we talked about it. I said I bid on it. It's a new flip. It's got the 6,000 series. It's got the 6,000, numbers. You can see we had a whole conversation about it. That's all right. Tell the folks about it.
I didn't know you were bidding on it.
It's all right. I won't bid, guys. I won't bid. I promise.
No, bid on it. But my play isn't the 10.
Oh, okay.
And how many or are you worried that someone out there is going to bid against you?
No. I wasn't planning on winning it anyway. I have 9s.
Do you have a 9 Holo?
I think I have a couple of 9s.
Of the Holo Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's my play. So because what's crazy about that card is, first off, Marvel blew me away when you did the break.
Yeah, that's fun.
And just the loyalty. They have such a strong fan base. And this is 1990 first set. And I think this card is going to go for I know it's going to go for 10K plus. Let me ask you, were going to bid on it. What did you in your head estimate that it would kind of sell for?
I was hoping to get it for under 7.
Under how much?
7,000. Under 7.
So in my head, I think this is a $15,000 card. There's only 5 in the world, Cage.
I know.
It's a 6. It's nearly.
I don't know if this might have been the 6-1 graded 10, but yeah, it's very, and they don't grade them 10s. They don't hardly grade 9s. I tried to build a 9 set. I still don't have the Green Goblin one. You know, the one with Green Goblin. That's like always off center. I think the best of having that is an 8.
The 9, believe it or not, is like a $300 to $500 card, which to me is crazy because first off, the difference between a 9 and a 10 on those is like literally one blemish on the hollow foil. I think it's one of the best looking cards. I don't think it's just the Spider-Man that you guys should go after. I think PSA 9 hollows across the board of that 1990 Marvel set is super cool, super low buy-in point, and a ton of upside. So that was my play today. I apologize.
I should go get some. So we can show them. Well, you can show them on eBay if you like. But yeah, I love those hollows. And guys, just so if you remember, we did this break. And if you didn't, the 1990 Marvel Impel set, IMPEL. It's not the first Marvel cards out there, but it's definitely like the first like pack pull, you name it, the whole. Marvel has some other random stickers and stuff in the 70s and stuff. But it's generally speaking like, the first Stan Lee Marvel set. There's even a Stan Lee card in it. In the box, there is in addition to the base card set that I think has like 161 cards, including the checklist. There's a 5-card hollow set. And if memory serves, number 1 is this Cosmic Spider-Man, where it's Spider-Man flying. There's a Wolverine. There's a Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one with the Green Goblin and Superman. And there's a Silver Surfer. So that's it. There's the Cosmic Spider-Man number 1.
It's such a nice card, man.
They are very difficult to get centered. They come in the packs. They're scratched. It usually came at the top card of a pack. So they got a little dinged and scratched and stuff. Centering's not good on these. It's just a cool card. It's definitely the hollows are cool. And while there has been an increase in these cards graded, not a lot on the high end, not a lot of 9s, a lot of 10s, a lot of 6s, 4s,
2s,
2s, not a lot of 9s and 10s. So I like this card. And when you talk about how that 10, then maybe it'd be $12,000. Who the hell knows? When you have that few of them, you never know how high it might go. It just takes 2 people who want to bid on it. When you talk about a 5-figure card as opposed to a card that's going to be $300, $400, $500, the 9 all of a sudden becomes a bargain.
I'll tell you, it might surprise you, but if this card goes 10K plus, it might lift the floor on all the hollow PSA 9s across the board.
Yeah, makes sense. Hey, you think Barry Bonds gets in the Hall of Fame this year?
I don't know. I don't care.
Well,
respectfully, I don't care. What I mean by that is, I just I don't like bad businesses, Cage. And MLB and BGS, they remind me of each other, right? They have this kind of historic brand.
What?
Yeah. Just stay with me. They have this historic.
I will. I can't wait.
They have this historic brand, and it's not that they're like 50-50 split. Sometimes positive news comes out, sometimes negative. To me, it's like all negative, man. So like MLB, it's like, should these steroid era guys get into the Hall of Fame? Should Pete Rose, who gambled on sports, get into the Hall of Fame? Oh, there's a lockout. Oh my God, Tatis is bat flipping again. It's just again, there's like that silly putty on the ball.
Silly putty.
It's just nonstop. All of this dumb stuff. So like, it's uninteresting to me. It's so uninteresting to me.
Oh, I love so you would like this. Forget about baseball. Over the next couple of weeks, the Hall of Fame ballots will be released. And it is the most asinine process in the world. It's so antiquated. It's so stupid. It's part and parcel with baseball and how they do everything dumb. Like at least for the All-Stars, they let people vote. Right? They let people vote. You do a little ballot. The same thing NBA does it, right? At least that's cool. The way Baseball Hall of Fame works, which I guess is still tangentially baseball, right? Because it's basically just a museum. Sports writers get a vote. Sports writers, who are the people who, during their time writing, had to ask these multi-millionaires for a statement while they were naked in the locker room, getting changed and trying to go home after they went 0 for 4 and were probably told to F off. And guess what? These sports writers, they get the last word. If you were mean to them, they get to keep you out of the Hall of Fame. But I'll never understand. So I think it's John Heyman, I think is the guy's name. The way it works is all the people on the ballot, 20 people, whatever the hell it is, you get to vote for 10. I'm going to tell you something. Every year there's 10 people who deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what you say, right? I mean, yeah, the steroid stuff's an interesting question, but this John Heyman published his vote last week, and he voted for 5 people. And it was the most absurd one I've ever heard of because he voted for Bonds and not Clemens. You tell me how that could ever make sense. How? Right? Best player, batter of the generation, best pitcher of the generation.
With
the arguments
steroids as well, Clemens?
The arguments against both are steroids. If you want to say Bonds would have been a Hall of Famer before the steroids, well, guess what? So would have Clemens. Would have been a Hall of Famer before steroids. Best pitcher even before steroid testing, before any of that stuff was even anything, right? So either you're keeping one out or you keep both out. How you vote for one, unless it's some sort of personal animosity towards one, I don't understand at all. And how you only voting for 5, dude? You got 10 votes. I mean, it's just one of these things, right, where it's like, you know, like baseball elitism, you know, a bunch of baloney. But we don't have to talk about it. 'Cause I'm a baseball guy, and I can't talk about hot stove. I can't talk about signings. I can't talk about free agents because these dummies are locked out. So this is like the only baseball stuff to talk about. And I can't talk about basketball because, as you've explained already, Luka sucks, and that's who I like. So since Luka sucks, according to you, I can't talk about basketball. I'm just going to cry. In football, my Raiders have shown everyone that they are the pumpkin, not Cinderella, not the chariot. They're now 6-6 and in last place in their division. So I get to talk about baseball. Okay. And you don't want to talk about Barry Bonds. There's a cool card. I don't know if I gave this particular one as a play, but I was looking at it recently, and if I did, great. You guys should buy more of them. I know I've given this type of card as a play, maybe not Barry Bonds, but I was looking at myself, and I was going to buy them all. I was going to buy every one on eBay. I was going to do one of those typical cage sweeps, you know, sweep the floor of eBay. But I decided, you know what? If there's anybody out there like me who's a baseball guy, and there's not that many. I know there's not that many, right? Because most people who are in cards now, it's the young QB, right? It's give me Josh Allen.
I think there's a lot of baseball fans. I don't know how many fans Barry Bonds has won over the years.
Dude. Barry Bonds. Ken Golden likes him. So
Ken Golden's going to lift the floor. He's going to
he
sweep
might.
it.
This is a card you could definitely get the floor on, right? And here's why I like this one, guys. So I was at Bleecker Trade the other day talking with our boy Hootie, and I was telling him stories about cards that have stories, right? It's easy to tell a story when the card has a story, right? And I showed him, we were talking about Michael Jordan, and I showed him the Sam Vincent card, which, guys, if you're new to our show and you weren't here a year ago when we gave this as a play, take a look at the Sam Vincent 1990 Hoops card. And what you'll see on that is you'll see Michael Jordan kind of being pushed out of the way of the camera against the Orlando Magic. The one game where Jordan was wearing number 12, and it's actually the day that Hoops was there to take pictures for cards. So it's the only card that shows Michael Jordan with number 12. We talked about like the Mark Jackson with the Menendez brothers behind it. Same set, actually, believe it or not, for those two cards. We talked about the Billy Ripken, the bat. And it's fun to talk about that. None of those are particularly expensive cards. And we talk about baseball. We talk about Mariano Rivera. We talk about this. And he asked me what my favorite card as a kid was. Now, some of you guys listening to this probably already know the answer. I've had people send me pictures of these particular cards. And I'd love it if somebody brought this back, because we've talked about it like NFT, you know, like motion, the whole deal. Sportflix. That's what the card's called. Sportflix, right? SPORTFLICS, Sportflix. And what's funny is Barry Bonds had cards in 87. He also had cards in 86, right? The 86 Topps traded, right? It was in those like end of year sets, right? And his 86 Topps traded PSA 10. It's an expensive card, right? The Tiffany version is a crazy expensive card, right? And you found the card. So there's actually
this is a sick card. $100.
So there's a guy with 4 of them at $74. He's got a quantity listing. Same thing. Go back out with the same 19.
This is kind of like Topps Chrome before Topps Chrome, right? It even has that like kind of look to it with the border.
and it's got his face too. It's if you like portrait cards, it's got a portrait card. If you like his swinging motion card, I'm talking about the card itself. The front has that portrait picture on it as well. When you move the card like this, so if you go back out and go to your listings, you go further back.
That's
Like go to
kinda
like the
cool,
eBay
man.
main page.
Okay.
Go like the go and just 86 Sport Flicks, and then I put PSA 10.
This is literally what I'm
It's right
looking
there.
at.
It's right there. No,
This one right here.
okay. Yes, you see the card, right? I was going to show that there's other ones. There's $74. There's a lot of these on eBay, and they're significantly less than $100. They're cheaper than you can actually grade a card.
Oh, this
see
one
the
is
face?
what you're-
Yeah. See, I was showing other picture exactly. See how you can see if you move the card, you get a portrait of him, or you get his sweet swing. It's like a bat on the shoulder and straight through to the swing because the card moves. It's lenticular. I've given some of these the Michael Jordan the shot, lenticular, and you name it. So this card, that's a cool card. And
Very,
why
very
I like
much
it,
so.
and why I like it for look, you want to buy PSA 9 for $20, go right ahead, right? You want to buy, I don't know what grading company that is, BSG, bullshit grading. So I don't know, is that what BSG stands for? Right? What's BSG stand for? Bullshit grading, right? I don't know.
I mean,
but anyway,
honestly, look at this label. This is hilarious. What? Never mind. I'm not gonna go that route.
I don't know what the hell that is. But anyway, point here is if you're a fan of Bonds, chances are you probably remember these kind of cards too. And if you wanted to grab a card for your PC, that's all about nostalgia. Dude, why do you keep showing the same bullshit grading card? BSG. I don't like now that's it. He has no attention. Forget about the card. I need to find out about this BSG grading. Go. He's on a mission.
Well, the back says eBay ID card - collecting.
Yeah, I think that was the guy selling the card.
Is he the owner of BSG?
Why don't you find BSG? See if there is something to own. Maybe it's an April Fool's joke from our friend.
Okay, I'm over this. Let's keep rocking.
Anyway, so I like that card just because it's a cool 80s throwback, right? When you combine Barry Bonds and Sportflix, you get 1 + 1 = 5. You get 80s on overload. And then a PSA 10 for $74. Come on now. You're not finding too many of those things. And it's a cool thing because you throw that in your slab case, and next time you're at a trade night at Belichik or wherever the heck it is, you pull it out, and no one there will have heard of them. And you got a Bonds rookie in PSA 10, Sportflix. I guarantee someone will trade for that because it's cool. It's just one of these cool looking, like something different, right? Like it takes people a while before they realize that stained glass was cool and kabooms were cool. Kabooms were out for 10 years before people were like, oh, that's a cool looking card, right? Well, this card happens to be almost 40 years old. It's 35 years old. But, part of it is people just don't even know it's there. People don't know that the card exists. So I just think it's cool. It's one of those I wanted to bring in just as a fun play and to get us talking about whether or not, Bonds gets in. I think it's in January they announced the Hall of Fame vote. He was close last year. And the reason why it's a relevant story, by the way, for both Clemens and Bonds is it's their last year of eligibility. This is year number 10. So there's a lot of, people who said, all right, you know what, these sports writers made him wait 10, but they're not going to keep him out because that would just destroy the credibility of the whole thing. But some of them are like, no way, I'm keeping him out because of the steroids. So we'll see. It's just, like I said, something to talk about in baseball. If you like, we can talk about highlight. Want to talk about F1? Want to talk about UFC? What do you want to chat about?
I'm starving.
So we want to talk about food.
Yeah.
I had chicken parm for dinner. Chicken parm, you taste so good.
Chicken parm does taste good. All right, man. We'll be back.
You know what
tomorrow.
I realized about chicken parm?
Tell me.
I realized that I make fun of my son because all he eats are chicken nuggets and pizza.
Okay.
And then I realized that we grew up and we just put our pizza on top of a chicken nugget and called it chicken parm and pretended we were adults.
I'm so hungry. I don't know what to. It didn't fully. I'm at a loss for words. How do you make it's?
It's chicken, breaded, with tomato sauce and cheese.
I think I have all those ingredients except for the eggs, and now I'm frustrated.
Did you see the Iverson commercial with this dude? That guy.
No, was it you, or is that your stunt double? Can you stop doing that? You're creeping me out.
For our YouTube people, I'm doing that ridiculous. What the hell is that guy's name? I don't even know what his name is. You know the guy, you see him on TikTok, and like people do something silly, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just turn the water on," and then does this. And they have Iverson with Tyronn Lue on a treadmill, and he's showing him, no, you got to do the eyes.
Was the greatest rug pull of all time that guy from the Subway commercials named Jared, who convinced us that you could lose 300 pounds eating sandwiches from Subway?
The greatest rug pull of all time was when the devil convinced us they didn't exist. It was gone.